Of all of the fruit of the Spirit that we are to emulate in our society, it would seem that kindness may be the most lacking. Good morning. This is Pastor Ernie Lewis of the Blue Point Church in Sisney, Illinois, with your thoughts for Friday. When Paul enumerated the characteristics of the fruit of the Spirit in the life of the believer, he pointed out that we are to be opposite from the works of the flesh. Galatians 5:22 says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love and joy and peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such there is no law." When I consider the word kindness, there are certain people that pop into my mind with maybe some special memories of their kind actions or even just their demeanor. I believe kindness comes out of a heart of compassion where a person chooses to be considerate toward others, unselfishly, rather than thinking of themselves. I actually see some of the ministry of Jesus Christ as a show of kindness to the less fortunate that he met along the way in his travels. When he stopped a large procession heading out of Jericho, found blind Bartimaeus sitting by the road begging for alms, and he gave him his sight. Or then Jesus found the man at the pool of Bethesda who was hoping for some miraculous cure out of the waters there, although he had had this infirmity for 38 years. He was losing all hope. Jesus said to him, "Rise, take up your bed and walk," healing him despite the fact that this was on the Sabbath day, and it would surely bring a lot of grief from the Jewish leaders that were there to see this. I often picture kindness as a very tender compassion shown to others who may not seem the most deserving, but being deserving is not really the key here, right? They say kindness is the state or the quality of being kind. But I think kindness comes from a benevolent nature, a sweet disposition in a person. Kind acts are just not the nature of some individuals, it seems like. They don't see the opportunities, or maybe they refuse to stoop so low to show that kind of compassion. That's why we need to realize that this fruit is from the Holy Spirit of God, who is seeking to cultivate it in the life of every believer. It will not be our demeanor or even our natural action until we decide to submit and surrender to the work of the Holy Spirit within the heart and mind every day. It's probably more in our nature to follow the works of the flesh, which Paul had just listed, and he says these things are evident in a person's life. So let's make the fruit of the Spirit evident in our life today. Let's go out of our way to show some sort of kindness, especially to one who's less fortunate we find in our path. And several acts of kindness may bring us to where it's our demeanor. It's our regular way of life. I hope it can be, because that's what the Holy Spirit wants to cultivate in you and in me.